Closing arguments are presented in the first-degree murder trial of Brian Marberry as the jury hears from the defense for the very first time. A day after a battery fire at the Essex County landfill, Windsor Fire is issuing a warning. The Prime Minister heads to Washington for his second meeting with Donald Trump, pushing for relief on steel, aluminum, and new lumber tariffs.
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us both on CTV Windsor and AM 800. I'm Sanjay. Maru. Stephanie is off tonight. We begin with Premier Doug Ford doubling down on his threat to pull Crown Royal from the shelves of LCBO stores while promising to remove a whole lot more. CTV's Bob Belichico has been getting a reaction to this and joins us from outside the Diageo plant in Amherstburg. Bob, how far does the Premier say he's willing to go?
Well, Sanjay, Doug Ford says that when the last worker walks out of this building behind me in February, that he will have every product that Diageo makes pulled off of every shelf at LCBOs across Ontario. Now, the union representing all of the workers here in this building says he should forget doubling down. Doug Ford should go all in and do it now, at least before the holidays, for maximum effect.
They don't have our interests, then why should we have theirs?
Reaction to Premier Doug Ford's threat to take Diageo products off the shelf at LCBOs across the province if the company closes their near-century-old Amherstburg plant.
All the bigwigs at Diageo, I swear to God, those bottles of Crown Royal are coming off the LCBO shelves. When the last person walks out through that door.
It's important that he continues to talk about it.
John Dagnolo, president of the union representing workers, says Ford has tried to communicate with the company.
What can we do to make sure that plant is open? What do we need to do to keep Diageo in Amherstburg? But when Diageo is not even doing that with Unifor nor the Premier, it's an issue.
Crown Royal was born in Canada. It's a Canadian product. And, you can't just take that to the United States and pretend it's not Canadian. And if you take it to the United States, it won't be Canadian and we won't buy it.
Earlier this year, Ford dumped a bottle of Crown Royal and encouraged others to do the same. Now he's wondering aloud how the company could let loose a plant with 200 workers.
Who in their right mind, any business person with half a brain, would go after their largest customer in North America?
Ford says the province sells over $765 million of Diageo product. 35 brands could be removed from the shelves, including Guinness, Smirnoff, Bailey's, and Captain Morgan.
Based on what I've been told, it costs annually approximately $16 million to run the plant that's behind us here.
Dagnolo wants Ford to go all in now. Remove the products from the LCBO now to prompt a quicker response from the company.
The bottom line is the dollar, so we got to hurt them when it comes to taking it off the shelf, and they'll lose those dollars.
The Premier feels very strongly about this, and all options are on the table.
So now the fear is that this ban could have an adverse effect. Think back to Prohibition days. The ban could result in smuggling between provinces. Sanjay.
All right, Bob, a story we'll be following closely. CTV's Bob Belichico reporting for us tonight. And that takes us to our question of the day. Do you think all Diageo brands should be removed from LCBO shelves if the company proceeds with closing its Amherstburg bottling facility? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. On Friday, we asked if you think the government should put more money into education. Out of almost 1,300 votes, 54% say no. Turning now to the trial we've been following for weeks, and now it's coming to a close. CTV's Michelle Molesky is back from court where closing arguments were made in the Brian Marberry trial, and a warning, the details again in this story, very disturbing.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. You've been covering this trial for us as well. And so you know that this trial started in mid-September, but today was the first time the jurors heard a bit of perspective from the defense. Defense lawyer Ken Marley wants the jury to discount the evidence of 3 key Crown witnesses. The lily is being gilded, Marley said in his closing statement on behalf of Brian Marberry, charged with first-degree murder. His wife, 36-year-old Sarah Boulay, was killed in late May 2023. Boulay's mother testified about a long-term relationship riddled with abuse and jealousy. Marley challenged the jury to consider her bias as a grieving parent and wanting to make sure someone pays for what happened. The defense believes Boulay was not fully honest with her family about their relationship. Marley noted Boulay went voluntarily to this motel room. And he asked the jurors to discount the evidence of the two auditory witnesses who were in the room below. Their versions, Marley argued, are too different to be reliable. She used a soft voice, according to Miss Hamid, Marley said. She was screaming, according to Mr. Scanlon. The Crown attorney took nearly 2 hours to sum up their case against Marberry Monday morning. In the weeks before her death, Marberry came to Windsor repeatedly and stayed at one hotel on Huron Church Road. But the weekend of May 26th, the Crown argues he went to a different hotel for the first time and told Boulay to simply come to his room. Emil Carrington said that was the first step in Marberry's plan. He was expecting she was going to leave him for another man, Carrington argued. The anger and jealousy and need for control led him to believe that if he couldn't keep Sarah, he wouldn't allow another man to be in a relationship with her. The Crown believes Boulay was either seriously hurt or dead at this point when the motel manager came to the door that night. Carrington asked the jurors to consider Marberry's post-offense conduct. If he didn't mean to do it, why would he act that way after she was dead, Carrington questioned. He stayed in a room with her for some 48 hours in the darkness. Carrington said Marberry had the intent, the motive, and the state of mind to commit first-degree murder. The defense also questioned the Crown's repeated use of the word estranged. Ken Marley argued today a couple that was spending nearly every weekend together in early 2023 in a Windsor hotel room could hardly be considered estranged. Sanjay.
All right, Michelle, so where are we at now with the trial process?
So where we're at now is the closing arguments wrapped up early this afternoon, and then Justice Ian Leach began his charge to the jury. That's when he kind of gives an overview of all of the evidence over 11 court days, as well as kind of explaining to the jury the law and how to interpret it and what verdicts they can consider. What's going to happen now is that process has only just started. The jury found out today it's going to take likely all day tomorrow, and so he expects that the jury will have this. They will begin their deliberations sometime on Wednesday.
All right, excellent coverage as always. CTV's Michelle Molesky joining us in studio tonight.
You're welcome.
A tragic crash in Chatham, Kent has left a 78-year-old motorcyclist dead. Police say he struck a piece of furniture that had fallen onto the roadway. The crash happened on Talbot Trail near Chatham Saturday afternoon. Police say the rider lost control after striking the item, went into a ditch and hit a tree. He was rushed to hospital in critical condition, but later passed away from his injuries. A 67-year-old Blenheim woman has been identified as the driver of the vehicle the furniture fell from. No charges have been laid at this time, and police say the investigation is ongoing. And CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me for our first look at weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight. Gary.
Good evening, Sanjay. Good evening, folks. Yet another mild, beautiful day. Temperatures soaring into the upper 20s. Ridge high pressure is in place and will be through tonight. However, a significant cold front is advancing through northern central parts of the province. And with that front, we could be into some showers and or thunderstorm activity for Tuesday. I'll break down what you need to know in terms of the rainfall and the timing and where temperatures are headed once this cold front introduces, obviously, a colder air mass. That's all coming up for now. I'll send it back inside to you at the desk.
All right, we'll see you later in the show, Gary. Thank you. Well, just one day after a lithium-ion battery sparked a fire at the regional landfill near Essex, Windsor Fire and Rescue is using the incident as a timely warning, kicking off Fire Prevention Week with a focus on how to safely buy, charge, and dispose of the powerful batteries found in everyday devices. CTV's Chris Campbell joins us now to explain. Chris.
Yes, Sanjay, lithium-ion batteries, while convenient, can be dangerous when damaged, overcharged, or simply tossed in the trash. Windsor Fire's message of prevention is one that hits close to home. A fire on Sunday at the regional landfill was sparked by a lithium-ion battery. It's exactly the kind of risk Windsor Fire is warning about as part of this year's Fire Prevention Week.
You know, it's been the focus within the province this year. We're seeing an increase in the amount of fires due to lithium-ion batteries. A lot of those fires are caused, one of the big things is improper charging with the wrong cords.
The theme this year is Charge into Fire Safety. Officials say lithium-ion batteries power everything from cell phones and e-bikes to power tools, and if used incorrectly or get damaged, they can heat up, catch fire, or even explode.
It's not uncommon for them to be at the bottom of the garbage, and then they overheat, they get crushed, and then all of a sudden you have a fire.
Windsor Fire Chief Jamie Waffle also cautions against leaving phones charging on beds or couches and reminds people not to throw batteries in household garbage or blue bins, saying they should be recycled at designated drop-off sites like the one at the Essex Windsor Solid Waste Authority.
And really, you don't have to do it often. Just put them in a safe place, and then when you have enough, make a trip to the depot. They're free to drop off. And we have 3 depots in Essex, Windsor. One in Windsor, one in the municipality of Essex, and one in Kingsville.
Batteries are actually the #1 cause of landfill fires in the province, and I would argue beyond the province of Ontario. So it's very important that residents be aware of the hazards of just simply putting the battery back into the garbage.
The campaign runs all week with events across the city and Essex County, reinforcing another message that most fatal fires happen in homes without working smoke alarms. Ontario law requires one on every story and outside all sleeping areas.
We're 30, 40 years into smoke alarm safety. They absolutely save lives, and statistically, Chris, we are seeing well over 50% of our fire fatalities in the province don't have working smoke alarms in their house.
Fire officials are encouraging everyone to test their smoke alarms once a month and to replace them every 10 years. For details on where you can recycle batteries safely or attend Fire Prevention Week events, there's a link on our website at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Sanjay?
All important reminders that could be life-saving. Thank you. CTV's Chris Campbell reporting for us tonight. While the fight against flooding in Essex continues, Mayor Sherry Bondi plans to present 2 notices of motion at tonight's town council meeting, one calling for a full review of drainage along County Road 50. To determine what can be fixed without waiting on residents' petitions, Bondi says that a user-pay system is one option, or infrastructure improvements could be made and then added to the tax bill. The second motion asks for a debrief on Harrow's September flood, which dropped nearly 200 millimeters of rain. Bondi says some residents have installed sump pumps and backwater valves, but more help may be needed. Environment Canada says more than 190 millimeters or 7 inches of rain fell over the Harrow region on September 24th, leaving roads and some basements flooded. The storm was very similar to one that hit across 2 days in August of 2023, when 214 millimeters of rain or 8.4 inches fell at the time. Environment Canada calling it a, quote, once-in-a-100-year event. There's a growing call for more public consultation and transparency as Amherstburg looks for a new policing provider. A former member of the town's Police Services Board says taxpayers deserve a voice in the process. Windsor Police has been serving Amherstburg since 2019, but the city says it will not renew the current deal when it expires in 2028 due to rising costs. Frank Clemenson telling AM 800 the town needs a clear plan before the 2026 municipal election, and it needs to happen now. Amherstburg weighing in 3 options: bringing back a local service, partnering with LaSalle Police, or contracting the OPP. A full report is expected this month. Well, if you're eligible to vote in the upcoming Ward 2 by-election in Windsor on October 27th, voter information cards are not required. The cards cannot be mailed due to the Canada Post strike. All voters need is a government-issued photo ID or one of the other forms of acceptable ID. A list of polling stations can be found on our website, along with a full list of candidates. Advanced voting will take place on October 17th and 18th at Campbell Baptist Church from 10 in the morning to 8 p.m. And in LaSalle, eligible voters there are requested to pick up their voter information letter in person. They will be available starting October 8th at 9:30 in the morning. Each letter has a PIN that is required in order to log in and cast your vote electronically. Again, voters would be required to show a valid government-issued photo ID and can only pick up letters for other voters in the same household. Advanced voting can be done on any computer or wireless device. Beginning October 10th at 10 in the morning, there will be a voter help center at the LaSalle Civic Center on Malden Road. Well, as of this morning, Windsor-Detroit has a new cross-border tunnel bus service. As CTV News reported last month, the Link bus will offer the same service as Transit Windsor did. The owners say to start, it will run on a regular schedule every hour on the hour, 7 days a week. But users can expect that to change down the road as the company analyzes traffic flow. Riders will be picked up at Bruce and Riverside Drive West. According to the company's website, there are 3 drop-off locations in Detroit. They include Washington Boulevard and Jefferson Road, Cass Avenue and Michigan Avenue, and the Tunnel Plaza at Mariners Church. The cost is $15 per person one way. Transit Windsor ended its regular tunnel bus service to Detroit on August 31st. The special events bus is operating until December 20th.
Well, we're hopeful that people get to know us, get to know our service. Right, a lot of people don't know yet that we're actually taking the bus previously. We're just trying to get our word out there via social media, news, however we can, and hopefully pick up more passengers.
Do you have thoughts or comments on a story? Well, we want to hear from you. Text us at 10400 or send photos and video if you see news happening.
You never know what comes out of a meeting with President Trump.
Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, Mr. Carney goes to Washington, his mission, his message, and what it could mean for Canada. And when we return, cutting the ribbon on the University of Windsor's first new student residence since the early 2000s. Tomorrow, stressed and unsupported, the impact the college strike is having on students with disabilities. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. Sign up for our newsletter for direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. The Prime Minister is off to Washington for his second face-to-face meeting with Donald Trump. And Carney, he's going in with an agenda, tariff relief on steel, aluminum, and lumber. CTV's Mike LeCouture is traveling with the Prime Minister.
Canadian officials are cautiously optimistic that tomorrow's meeting could pave the way for some relief on steel tariffs. And politicians from both sides of the border are hoping for the same.
I'll be very blunt. You never know what comes out of a meeting with President Trump.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is hoping for some tariff relief, but says the U.S. president will say one thing one day and then change course the next. At a gathering of governors and premiers from around the Great Lakes, Pennsylvania's Josh Shapiro said tariffs are hurting the U.S.
We're still seeing prices go way up because the president decided to push the tariff button and drive up costs on the American people. It is dangerous, the rhetoric he's engaged in, and his practices are making things cost more.
U.S. tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum remain at 50%, while Trump is increasing levies on other products like softwood lumber and wood furniture. One former special advisor on Canada-U.S. relations for then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau believes Tuesday's meeting could yield some progress.
Either because you hope that you're close to an agreement and you would like to push it over the finish line with a signature moment and a handshake and an opportunity, or to push forward on something that's stalled or slowed.
Expectations are high from opposition leader Pierre Poilievre. In a letter to the Prime Minister, the Conservative leader demanded Carney keep his campaign promise to negotiate a win, including the removal of all tariffs on Canadian goods. A White House spokesperson, Caroline Leavitt, says trade will be one of the many issues discussed between Carney and Trump when they meet in the Oval Office. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Turning now to a shift in tradition announced today. From now on, Ottawa will release the budget in the fall, while the fall fiscal update will be tabled in the spring. CTV's Judy Trin now on the change and why it's happening.
In a break with long-standing practice, the finance minister says all future budgets will come down in the fall, enabling the government to get transfer payments out earlier in the fiscal year.
It's also going to provide more predictability, I would say, for provinces and territories. I've been talking to them, businesses and organizations that rely on federal funding.
The Liberals are also changing the budget framework to separate day-to-day spending from capital investments. Operational day-to-day costs include health and social transfers and government salaries, while capital investments encompass spending on major projects, housing, clean energy, and infrastructure.
When will the budget be balanced?
At the Finance Committee, the opposition slammed the minister for budget changes that don't add up.
Debt is still debt at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many columns you try to present in front of Canadians and try to trick them. Are you guys going to be cooking the books?
It's irresponsible for a member of parliament to use language like that. I will say that. It's irresponsible.
The changes come after the interim parliamentary budget officer estimated that Canada's deficit will grow to $68.7 billion this year. Some economists say clearly showing how much the government is spending on capital investment is important.
What are we using debt finance for? Is it for, for capital investment, like, in terms that will be there for decades, or is it for current consumption?
The government says it will balance its operational budget, the day-to-day spending, in 3 years. For more details, the finance minister says we'll have to wait until November 4th when he tables the budget. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, it's only a couple of weeks until Diwali. The Hindu Festival of Lights revolves around fireworks, but one Ontario city is considering banning them altogether for all celebrations. As CTV's Kamal Karamali tells us, it's a move municipalities across the country are making, and it's sparking a fiery debate.
This is what a Diwali celebration usually looks like in Mississauga, Ontario. But the booms and the bangs could soon fizzle out for good.
Good morning, Madam Mayor.
On Wednesday, Mississauga City Council began considering a ban on fireworks for public use after the city received over 600 noise complaints last year covering all the holidays where fireworks are allowed.
Whenever there is a firework event, there are people who take unbelievable advantage of this. Fireworks are happening days before.
Most at this council meeting, though, opposed the ban.
It feels like a blow to cultural dignity.
About 24 of them speaking one.
It's a discrimination against my community.
After another.
It's integral to the celebration.
Here at the Hindu Heritage Center, there is concern the ban impedes on the Hindu community's religious freedoms, with Diwali just around the corner.
So it'd be very oppressive to Hindu beliefs and Hindu values, and especially the culture that's being celebrated for hundreds of years.
Right now, Mississauga allows its residents to set off fireworks with a city permit on 5 holidays, including Diwali, but the rules are different in their neighboring municipalities, with 3 having full fireworks bans, while 3 others only allow them on Canada Day and Victoria Day. Kitchener-Waterloo in Ontario approved a ban earlier this year.
Education is the key, I would argue, not banning.
With little faith, all residents will obey the rules.
If banned, residents won't stop buying. They'll simply drive to Toronto, Oakville, or Burlington.
While others are outright threatening to do this.
We have celebrated in the same way, and we will continue to celebrate in the same way, whatever you do today or tomorrow.
Mississauga City Council is set to vote on the proposed fireworks ban on October 15th, and if approved, the new laws would go into effect in January. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
Back at home, the University of Windsor is celebrating the official opening of its newest student residence, and it's one designed for families. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held this morning at Rodzik Hall. The 6-story building has 452 beds and is the university's 4th student residence. The university says the project was made possible through a public-private partnership with Tilbury Properties and the support of the Rodzik family. The budget was between $60 and $65 million. Students have been in the building for the last month. For the first time in 3 years, Tim Hortons is increasing its prices, charging more for a cup of joe, reflecting a wider trend of rising coffee prices. A cup of coffee is going up 1.5%, amounting to a few extra cents. A Tim Hortons spokesperson says the price of coffee beans has more than doubled over the last 3 years. Coffee imports from the U.S. also played a role in the price increase. Canada's main stock index finished higher as energy and mining stocks had a strong day. In Toronto, the TSX gaining 60 points. In New York, the Dow losing 63, the Nasdaq adding 161, the Canadian dollar losing just 1/100 of a cent. And on commodity markets, gold gains more than $67 an ounce, while oil is up 81 cents a barrel.
From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., there was 172 people went to buy her bed.
There was absolutely no privacy.
After the break, hallway medicine horror stories from a Saskatoon hospital.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thank you, Chuck, for sending in this image. We'll talk more about rain potential. And by the way, don't forget, if you have a great weather image, text it to 10400. We'll find out about a temperature change, a drastic one potentially coming our way next.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
And Gary Archibald joins me again for an extended look at the forecast. And Gary, it looks like we're looking at some active weather.
Active weather in the form of some showers late tonight. Could be a story of some light rumbles of thunderstorm activity through the overnight pre-dawn, but I think the second wave in the afternoon Tuesday will be more significant in terms of the rainfall and the thunderstorm risk. Today was a warm, beautiful summer-like day yet again. Temperatures well above seasonal. Yes, we are in fall. We are in a warm weather pattern. This good, rich southerly flow is, well, the reason why. Temperatures 10 degrees above seasonal, reaching 29. Our average for this time of the year is 19 for a high. Our average low is 9 degrees Celsius. And of course, those two stats are just going to get lower as we get deeper into the fall season, obviously. Air quality at 3. It has been as low as 1 or 2, but that's still in the good air bracket. From 1 to 10 in terms of the air quality index. So blue sky, fair weather cloud overhead, the air quality is acceptable and the temperatures have been warm. We're still in the upper 20s. Chatham-Kent at 27 or 81 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, and fair weather cloud and some sunny breaks for the most part. The story this evening, 29 and 84, the stats in Windsor at the airport. Cooler. Much cooler across northern and northwestern Ontario, the prairies in BC, lower double digits, although Thunder Bay's holding at 16. We're at 27 in Toronto, as mentioned, 29 in Windsor, Essex, about 27, 28 in Chatham-Kent and the surrounds. Montreal's at 29, and Halifax, Nova Scotia is at 28. So, from the Great Lakes due east to the Atlantic coast, that's your warm slot. And in behind it, a cold front will usher in some showers and thunderstorms, potentially. And the winds have picked up, and we'll see gusts in the 35 to 45 range through to about 10 o'clock. This massive front is sweeping across now upper Michigan into Manitoulin Island. Eventually will sweep across southern Ontario. The secondary wave, if you will bring most of the rains over the next 24 hours. Significant rainfall in the area of about 20 millimeters coming. Increasing cloudiness tonight, still mild 20s through to midnight. And then we're looking at some sunshine beyond tomorrow's stormy day with temperatures in the upper teens, low 20s as we head towards the middle of next week.
Lifetime. Brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
It can happen to anyone. That was the message echoing through Windsor's Jackson Park Saturday morning as dozens gathered for the second annual Walk to End Silence, a powerful tribute to Sarah Boulay and others whose lives were taken, and a call to break the silence surrounding gender-based violence.
If you or somebody you know is struggling in that, just realize that they're not weak, they're not stupid, they're just caught in a place where somebody who can manipulate got a hold of them. I remember 2004 when my daughter came home with her first injury, her request to me was, don't tell anybody. She didn't want me to tell her siblings, the extended family, nobody. And at the time I thought I was respecting my daughter's privacy and her wishes. But later on to just realize that silence is almost like giving permission for the harm to continue. So I want to remind myself and remind the community that we cannot be silent.
You start thinking, oh, maybe I should have been there more for the person, or if I had done things in a certain way. So there's always that aspect of trying to rethink and rehash it. But the more I've been researching and looking into this kind of stuff, you find out that it's really an epidemic because that person has that certain element of shame. They feel maybe embarrassed that they've let it get this far. 2025, and we're still asking our government to say we ignore this is epidemic that affects more than the person that's being harmed, is the tragedy of it all. And that shows you how people that are vulnerable, especially women and girls, their safety is not really considered to be the most important and foremost for our policymakers. They work for us and we're putting them there. And if we don't like how they do things, then we need to make sure they're not in that office anymore.
Hallway medicine has become the norm in some healthcare facilities in this country, with new video from inside one Saskatoon hospital shedding light on just how crowded the situation really is. CTV's Allison Bamford shares one family's frustrating ordeal.
3, 4, I think there's 6 beds here, and then there's more on the other side.
Video shows crowded hallways in this Saskatoon hospital lined with patients on stretchers. And for 2 days last week, that's where Lynn Harmon's mother was stuck receiving care.
It literally looks like a natural disaster had just happened.
Harmon shocked to see machines plugged into extension cords, portable dividers, and patients within earshot of others receiving procedures.
There was absolutely no privacy.
From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., there was 172 people went by her bed.
Tim Lang's mother was treated in the hallway for 4 days after having a stroke.
There's patients were walking barefooted in that hallway. Somebody in the bed next to her got up and he literally peed on the floor.
Hallway medicine typically happens when capacity surges in emergency departments across the country. The Canadian Medical Association calls it unacceptable.
This does not provide the care we want, nor the care that they deserve.
Health officials say several factors contributed to the recent capacity surge in Saskatoon, including an early wave of respiratory viruses.
More people were accessing the emergency department, and they were sicker, resulting in more people being admitted, which created more capacity challenges within our hospital system.
At the peak, the health authority says 42 patients were waiting for a bed, but not all were treated in the hallway, and care wasn't compromised.
She just wanted help, and she got her help that she wanted. But I think we need a little bit more privacy, a little bit more dignity, a little bit more compassion.
Last month, the health authority added 20 new hospital beds in Saskatoon. Another 89 are on the way. But experts say there needs to be an increase in primary care resources to help patients avoid the ER altogether. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Coming up on Windsor's News Leader, from basement beginnings to 3,000 strong, people in the Windsor area are spinning tradition into pure energy.
5K a day is back on 93.9
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
Every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
Did you know that millions of people across the world gather every fall to dance one very specific type of dance? It's called Garba, a centuries-old tradition from India that's quickly become one of the biggest cultural celebrations around. And in Windsor, Essex, one event has been spinning for more than half a century. Each step in perfect synchronization, no matter the speed, no matter the age. In the Windsor area, this tradition goes back decades with humble beginnings.
Something that started 51 years ago in someone's basement is now taking place in such a big venue like this. And this year, we are so proud.
Proud because of just how many people turned out to the event center in LaSalle over the past 2 weekends for the Gujarati Samaj of Windsor's annual Garba nights. Anyone in the community can join the celebration. And this year, more than 3,000 people did just that. Garba is a traditional folk dance from the Indian state of Gujarat, performed in circular patterns during the 9-night festival called Navratri. The circles represent the cycle of life and togetherness, with dancers moving around a central light that symbolizes inner strength and the power of good prevailing. For those in attendance, Garba nights are as highly anticipated as any major holiday.
All the family friends that we know here for so many years, and it's a lot more fun when you know everybody that you are doing Garba with.
But for others, it's their first time.
I've seen it in movies, right? I just wanted to experience it in real life. Hearing about it, it was in my bucket list. It's just how people are coordinated.
Windsor, Essex is far from the only region where Garba brings people together. Around the world, millions take to floors like these every year, moving in the same circles to the same beats.
We are like standing there down, looking at the people. We want to dance over there. Like let's dance over here.
Also this weekend, a night of culture and community lit up the Kobodo Club in support of local health care. The 2025 Moonlight Gala featured dinner, dancing, and cultural performances, raising funds for the Fancy Family Hospital. Carrying the tagline, "Together for Tomorrow," organizers say Saturday's event was about celebrating Windsor's diversity while giving back to the community.
Essex County Chinese Canadian Association has been one of our biggest champions of this project, putting on multiple events to support our foundation. They just had a golf tournament a couple of weeks ago, and we look forward to their upcoming gala in the spring as well. So we want to just thank the Essex County Chinese Association for all of their hard work.
Canada's sweet obsession took center stage in Windsor as the Tart and Soul Butter Tart Festival made its delicious debut in the city on Sunday, uniting pastry lovers with gooey, flaky creations that proved one thing when it comes to butter tarts: there is something for everyone.
So this one is 2 original, 2 pecan, 2 raisin.
It's a Canadian icon. It's one of the Canadian icon foods. People love butter tarts. People love to enjoy butter tarts. We had some person that ordered 10 dozen butter tarts from one of our vendors who came from afar because they wanted to put them in their freezer so they had them for Thanksgiving and Christmas and into the new year. Canadians love butter tarts, and because of that, we're here to celebrate not only butter tarts, but the soul that comes along with it. The love and the care that comes with butter tarts in the way of soul food, soul music, and good old butter tarts.
I'm always joking around saying if a person doesn't like butter tarts, you can't trust them. So we were really excited to be hosting this festival, and especially the fact he brought in butter tart makers and bakers from across the province down here to Windsor for the first butter tart festival. It was something that was pretty fantastic.
Everyone has their own thing. Some people are completely 100% raisins. I gotta have raisins. And some are like, no to the nuts. Some just want the ooey gooey. So whatever works for you to love butter tarts, we celebrate that.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Tyler Smith, survivor of the 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash and founder of Not Alone Co., will share his mental health journey during the Check In, Don't Check Out event. See you next time on Our Community.
And it is about that time when we check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, right now Scarehouse Windsor is inviting people inside its haunted horrors, but this past weekend it offered a different kind of thrill.
Yeah, that's right, Sanjay. So the idea was to give them a chance to enjoy the thrills without the chills, experiencing a haunted house, but no scary parts. The annual Lights on Tour was held Sunday afternoon. Every light was turned on and the spooky music switched off, giving kids a chance to explore without the jump scares. The event raised money for the LaSalle Windsor Special Olympics. Organizers say the real trick is finding that balance, keeping it kid-friendly while still giving young visitors a little thrill.
It's out of our comfort zone. Our comfort zone is like spooky, scary, create the atmosphere that gives you the anxiety, and all of a sudden we turn on the lights and it's like we're cleaning, and all the little kids, they love it. It's just a little weird for us, but we try to, it's like an introduction to the haunted house industry.
Oh, that's awesome. We've got details on more events online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And keeping with that theme, I understand we also have a story online about keeping your pets safe this Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Yes, that's right. Rover Canada is offering up tips to ensure your furry friends are safe during the festivities. For Thanksgiving this weekend, keep in mind many human foods can be dangerous for dogs. That includes turkey bones. And for Halloween, be careful with pet costumes, since they may cause some animals to feel stressed out or restricted. You can find more tips on our website. And in our social spotlight, it's never too early to start thinking about an upcoming holiday. So Spirit Christmas has officially kicked off the holiday countdown, announcing the opening of its 2025 season with 30 locations, including one in the Detroit area. Each store offers decorations, costumes, gifts, and of course pictures with Santa. Nowhere yet if one will be opening in Windsor, though, Sanjay.
I've only heard of Spirit Halloween. I didn't know that Spirit Christmas was even a thing.
Oh yeah, Spirit Christmas, you got to have the pictures with Santa and the decor and everything else.
Love it, love it. So another reminder rather, how can viewers submit a video to our trending segment?
Yeah, absolutely. They can email us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Well, you just might be when we return a corn maze carved with Canadian icons, and this year it's Blue Rodeo's turn.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
And Gary Archibald joining me now at the desk for our final look at the weather. Gary.
You know, Sanjay, a bit breezy today. It was comfortably warm, not too humid, and I think that this evening will also be quite comfortable. We'll still be hovering around 20, maybe even 21 degrees Celsius at midnight, but increasing cloudiness is the story for early Tuesday morning with showers in the morning and potential thunderstorm activity in the afternoon. I'm counting on the rain to be a big part of the afternoon weather story. And then sunshine and cooler. We're looking at mid-teens Wednesday into Thursday. Temperatures jumping into the upper teens and possible lower 20s as we head towards Saturday, Sunday, and holiday Monday being Thanksgiving. That's a look at your Enercare 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Gary. Well, we leave you tonight with Blue Rodeo marking its 40th anniversary this year. They've been receiving honors across the country, but this fall, the band is also being etched into a very unusual place. CTV's Sarah Plowman takes us there.
25 years ago in Florenceville, New Brunswick, a tradition sprouted. build a maze of dead ends and trivia carved out of corn.
We've had people in here for hours.
While you can't tell from down here, each path has purpose. In a 6-acre puzzle celebrating Blue Rodeo's Jim Cuddy and Greg Keeler as the band celebrates 40 years together.
Been a fan ever since I can remember. I mean, since Blue Rodeo started. I remember listening to them in my tractor. Someone gave me a tape.
It's possible to get lost here in search of the musicians' faces or shades. To Jim Cuddy, it's an honor.
It's beautiful. I mean, we just saw pictures of it a couple of days ago, and it's truly, it's amazing. Beautiful.
How do you fare in corn mazes? Are you a type of guy who gets lost?
No, frankly, I probably could find my way out. I think there's others in the band, and I won't mention them, who probably would be asking to phone management to send somebody to help them.
This is a multi-step process. Once they think of the idea, they work with a graphic designer to draw it out, and then an engineer who uses a GPS to plot out exactly where they need to remove the corn.
We've gotten some really fantastic mazes out of that process.
A slice of Canadiana for 25 years, including nods to Stan Rogers and Gordon Lightfoot and Terry Fox.
We just like to see families out enjoying time with each other.
I would advise everybody to go and have a look at it, and don't deface our faces.
But perhaps get lost together. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Florenceville, New Brunswick.
And speaking of getting lost, just yesterday I was covering the kids event at Scare House. I did the mirror maze, never did a corn maze. Have you ever done something like that?
No, I haven't. It looks interesting, of course, and great to pay tribute to a Canadian iconic band like that.
Definitely. Well, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you so much for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And I'll be back with your only late local newscast at 11.
See you then.